bad weather is forecasted, kind of secure your items and look out for yourself.
They also do want to remind campers that staff at campgrounds, for instance, do maintain multiple campgrounds at once. So if they do try to get to everyone during an emergency, sometimes that's just not possible. So they do want to make sure to remind campers that they need to look out for themselves, as you heard. But also make sure to check out our Fox 17 weather app, and you can keep tabs on the weather there. Reporting in Muskegon, Angela McCall, Fox 17 News.
Speaking of the Fox 17 weather app, it's available on both Apple and Android devices. Scan the QR code on your screen for a link to download. You can do that by opening up your phone's camera, pointing it at the QR code, and then tapping the screen. It will pop up a link which will direct you to your phone's app store. Once the app is installed, here's how you can turn on severe weather alerts. Tap the 3 lines in the upper right corner, click settings, and then weather notification types. Make sure all weather alerts are selected. You'll know you've done that when all the buttons are green. Then tap the back button in the upper left corner and select notification sounds at the bottom of your screen. There you can pick what you want your alert to sound like. For severe weather, you can get a voice alert. For example,
an avalanche warning has been issued for your location.
There are also several tones to pick from. Along with the siren, this could be a great option to make sure you hear an alert in the middle of the night. You can also customize lightning and precipitation alerts. Finally, make sure your phone sound is on before you go to bed. If severe weather wakes you up, tune into Fox 17 both on air and online. Our team will have the very latest updates and what you need to know.
Muskegon Township Police are investigating a homicide that occurred on northbound US 31 today after a man was found in a swamp. Just before noon, Muskegon Township officers responded to an accident with injuries, and when they arrived, they found the vehicle in the water near the Muskegon River Flats and a man inside who had been shot. He was taken to Mercy Health where he died. Witnesses tell investigators that a silver or gray Jeep pulled up alongside the victim's vehicle and fired several times. So far, the victim has not been identified, and investigators are asking anyone with more information to contact police or Silent Observer. A bipartisan group of lawmakers have reached a deal, a big deal at that, on infrastructure.
Aaron Parsegian joining us live in the newsroom tonight. And Aaron, the bill is already one step closer now to being passed.
Senators, including Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, joined Democrats in advancing the infrastructure bill tonight. That same vote failed last week, but now they can start debating the legislation to work out some kinks.
Looks like we reached a bipartisan agreement on infrastructure. Fancy word for bridges, roads.
President Joe Biden announcing Wednesday a bipartisan group of lawmakers finally reached a deal on a $1.2 trillion infrastructure package.
We had offered a very generous offer on transit 4 days ago, and basically the offer was accepted last night.
The bill includes more than $550 billion in new spending on roads, bridges, broadband, and drinking water systems.
We're talking about the biggest dedicated investment in bridges since the Eisenhower administration when they set up the interstate highway system in the first place. We're talking about the biggest investment in public transit that we've ever done as a country, the most for passenger rail since Amtrak was set up. It's got funding to get lead out of the pipes that take drinking water to our kids, funding to get Americans connected to broadband, so many things that are so long overdue.
Now the work begins to get it passed. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he wants to get it done and then pass an additional $3.5 trillion reconciliation package, which includes spending on climate change and health care and could be done on party lines.
My goal remains to pass both the bipartisan infrastructure bill and a budget resolution during this work period. Both. It might take some long nights. It might eat into our weekends. But we are going to get the job done, and we are on track.
Meanwhile, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi wants to see the two packaged together before it gets a vote in the House.
No, we haven't seen it, so you're asking me to commit to something that none of us has seen. We are rooting for it. We're hoping for the best.
Now, Democrats would only need 50 votes in the Senate to pass the $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation bill, but that already has hit a speed bump with Arizona Senator Kyrsten Sinema saying she doesn't support it. Live in the newsroom, Aaron Parsegian, Fox 17 News.
All right, thank you, Aaron. Spectrum Health is now requiring employees to get the COVID-19 vaccine. It is the second health system in West Michigan to mandate those vaccinations for its employees. Mercy Health System made the same announcement earlier this month. Employees will have to get vaccinated within 8 weeks of the FDA fully approving at least one of the vaccines. But that time frame might change depending on the state of the pandemic. Late this afternoon, Beaumont Health over on the east side of the state announced that it will be adopting the same policy.
3 cases of that new Delta variant have now been identified in Allegan County, all 3 involving people over the age of 60 and all of whom are fully vaccinated. One person had recently traveled outside of the state. A small amount of positive COVID tests are analyzed for variant strains, which increases the likelihood of more unidentified cases of that Delta variant in the county. It's now the 6th county in West Michigan to confirm at least 1 case of the Delta variant. Barry, Kent, Calhoun, Kalamazoo, Muskegon, and Ottawa counties have all confirmed at least 1 case so far.
Housing advocates are warning that upcoming evictions could spark another wave of COVID cases. The eviction moratorium is set to expire Saturday. An analysis by the Social Housing Chronicle shows that millions of renters who are at risk of eviction are living in COVID hotspots. Another analysis found that 11 million people who are behind on rent live in counties with rising COVID cases. National Low Income Housing Coalition has asked the Biden administration to extend that moratorium.
Johnson & Johnson is facing another lawsuit surrounding its talcum-based baby powder. A civil rights attorney says the company specifically marketed their product to Black women despite links to ovarian cancer. Johnson & Johnson denying the allegations and says its marketing campaigns are meant to be multicultural and inclusive. Last year, ovarian cancer survivors sued the company in a separate lawsuit, saying that asbestos in the baby powder caused their condition. J&J has denied those allegations as well.
Still ahead, a 92-year-old NEWAYGO County woman contacting the Fox 17 problem solvers after several issues with her brand new roof.
Normally, someone's got a nice roofing job, everything's straight. This one, you're looking straight down and the whole thing's wobbly.
Now that $6,000 headache is another problem solved.
After new guidance from the CDC yesterday, many states are now masking back up. Still ahead, we are sitting down with Governor Gretchen Whitmer to find out if Michigan will be one of them.
Where did everyone go? Where's all the workers? That is the big million-dollar question that I still don't know what the answer is.
The restaurant industry is struggling to fill positions as they try to rebound. Some creative steps they're now taking to attract employees.
And don't forget, as we track the storms overnight, you can get more news and weather from Fox 17 by downloading our app on your streaming device like Fire TV and Roku.
This is a Fox 17 severe weather alert.
All right, Anthony Dalmo's been tracking what is coming overnight. Anthony, it sounds like it's going to be waking up quite a lot of people.
I would say so, Ryan. Sometimes you predict these storms and there's, question of whether they're actually going to materialize. They've already materialized out through north central Wisconsin, and they will be slowly sweeping down to the southeast. I would say if there's any change in this forecast, it's to slow them down versus what it looked like maybe 12, 18 hours ago. It always kind of appeared as though it would be around midnight or thereafter, but we're talking more like 3, even more so 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, an odd time when people are sound asleep. And yes, these storms just coming crashing into the region with winds perhaps as high as 60 to 70 miles per hour. The National Weather Service has been outlining for winds perhaps to 80 miles per hour. We'll see about that. It takes a pretty strong storm system to produce that kind of wind speeds, but it is conceivable with this particular weather disturbance. This red outlined area is a moderate risk for severe. The only category higher than that is a high risk from SPC, or the Storm Prediction Center, and that typically you see down to the south through Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, Oklahoma. So this is a pretty serious weather system passing on through here into the overnight. Sections down to the south to be impacted more closer towards 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning versus, off into Wisconsin. They're dealing with the severe weather at the current time. And look at this, 2 tornado warnings out there in those red polygons. So this is the type of system. It's mainly a straight-lined wind machine that's going to be working in here, but along these lines sometimes you can get these small little spin-ups of tornadoes. So that is conceivable overnight, though I'm not terribly concerned with the production of tornadoes with this particular low pressure system. Out at Gun Lake, this came in just about an hour and a half ago, 2 hours ago from George, and he was out on his yacht there picking up on calm conditions, the calm before the storm. Nice looking image there with those high and mid-level clouds obscuring a lot of sun, perhaps a few sprinkles here. I think a lot of this is Virgo not reaching the ground, but you may get a shower to clip, say, northern Oceana, Newaygo, Mecosta counties in the short term. It is this band out through Wisconsin producing a lot of lightning and a lot of wind already being generated. And of course, those 2 tornado warnings out through Wisconsin. That is the line that is going to continue to work towards the south and eventually start to take on more of a southeasterly trajectory here into the overnight. Ryan and Janice, watch this towards 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, cruising in from northwest to southeast. And it means business here, folks. I mean, we're talking about winds that can cause some damage, I think, with this system. So I'll have more coming up, the main weather segment, in just several minutes down the line. Then this cool down. I mean, we're going from storms today, tapping into all this heat and humidity we've had recently. And the heat and humidity, it's gone through the 7-day. We'll take a look here coming up.
All right, thank you, Anthony. A Kalamazoo County prosecutor has determined the police shooting of a man back in May was justified.
W.D. Trice Jr. was shot and injured by a Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety sergeant on May 21st. Police say that sergeant witnessed what appeared to be a heated confrontation in a yard off of Florence Street. As he approached the property, was told that one of the people involved there was holding a gun. As he got closer, he told that guy, later identified as Trice, to drop it. But he apparently did not comply, and officials say Trice turned towards that sergeant while still holding that weapon. And that's when the 47-year-old was shot, but did survive. Tonight, prosecutor Jeff Gedding says the sergeant acted in self-defense, adding that Trice Jr. posed an immediate threat. Police in Kalamazoo searching for suspects involved in 2 shootings last night. Officers were called to the area of East Bush and Patterson Streets just after 7 p.m. Investigators say the victim in the case, a 16-year-old boy, showed up to the hospital with a gunshot wound. He's currently listed in stable condition. About half an hour later, police were called to the area of Hotop and East Michigan Avenues after reports of shots fired. Once again, they did not find any victims at the scene, but were told the car was hit by gunfire. If you have any information, you're asked to call KDPS or Silent Observer.
A grandmother in Newaygo County paid $6,000 for a brand new roof, but after problems with the installation, she just really couldn't get a hold of the company and have her call them back.
My grandma doesn't have a lot of money, you know, and I can't fix it. I don't have that ability to fix it, and I don't like it when people take advantage of the elderly.
Well, now she and her grandson are speaking with Fox 17 to get their problem solved. A 92-year-old woman in Newaygo County paid more than $6 grand for a brand new roof. Both she and her grandson say there are several issues with it, though, but every time they've tried to call that company, they say they've been ignored.
After Fox 17 got involved, though, it is now a problem solved.
The closer I got, the worse it was.
Alan Hansen is talking about this roof job on his grandmother's home in Fremont.
I was honestly thrown off by it. I've never seen a roof that bad.
He walked us around the property at the end of June, pointing out errors 3 months after it was finished.
About, like what, 3 or 4 feet?
The shingles do not look flat. In fact, they're bubbled and wavy. At least one of them appears to have been left behind on the back of the home, and several are still hanging over the edge, not evenly cut.
Normally, someone's got a nice roofing job, everything's straight. Everything looks good, you can't tell. This one, you're looking straight down and the whole thing's wobbly.
Alan tells me the contractor, William Tinges, said he'd replace the roof, but then he started ignoring his calls, and that's when Alan reached out to the Fox 17 problem solvers.
My grandma doesn't have a lot of money, you know, and I can't fix it. I don't have that ability to fix it, and I don't like it when people take advantage of the elderly.
His grandmother, Audrey Lyons, has lived here for more than 60 years. She found Bill's ad in the local paper offering lifetime asphalt shingles, saying that the company was licensed and insured, providing quality work for 40 years. She called them to check out her front porch that had been leaking.
That's really what they come to look for, but when he looked at the rest of the house, he decided that it should be replaced.
She ended up with this paperwork showing that the job did in fact have a lifetime warranty and that she paid more than $6,700 for that work.
I live on my Social Security money, and I do get some retirement, but that's about it.
It bothered her as well that only one guy showed up. Never a team, no Amish crew as mentioned in the ad, just one man doing all the work. After Alan pointed out the issues, he called that contractor.
Well, my grandson called him and told him what it was, and he'd taken pictures and he would send them to him. He said he didn't want the pictures, but they would replace the roof. I would get a new roof. But I haven't heard anything from him.
That was about 2 months ago. They said the man told them he'd be back in a couple of weeks to fix the issue, but he never showed up.
I was a little unhappy about it, but I wasn't too sure what to do about it. And then when I couldn't get him on the telephone, that bothered me too.
They tell Fox 17 he started ignoring their calls, so I let Audrey call from my phone and he answered. He told her that he was having problems getting people together and would send the money back if he couldn't do it. But a couple weeks later, she never heard anything. Turning 93 later this year, she was hoping to finally get it fixed.
I know that it was bad that I didn't go out and check on it. But with my yard being so bad and walking with a cane, I don't like to walk around the yard very much.
So after I reached out to Bill myself, he told me that he ended up firing the guy that did the roof. He sent the money back to Audrey, and she just said that the check cleared this week. The only problem now is that she is still looking for somebody to fix that roof. We will let you know what happens with that. If there's an issue that you need help looking into, you can call the Problem Solvers at the number on your screen or send us an email to problemsolvers@fox17online.com.
Grand Rapids Community College is showing off its new Lakeshore campus next month. The college will be hosting an open house on Saturday, August 21st from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Anyone who attends will have the opportunity to sign up for classes, speak with experts, and learn more about the college. In 2019, GRCC bought space in the shops at West Shore Mall in Holland, converting it into classrooms, labs, and study spaces. That new campus located on US 31 and James Street.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer is sitting down with Fox 17 for a one-on-one interview talking post-COVID plans and more.
We are over 63% of our population vaccinated at this juncture, which is really good. You compare us to a lot of states in the South, but we want to get to north of 70.
We'll hear about her administration's plans to help stimulate the state's economy and make life easier for working families.
Hey, Janice, the talk on the town. Storms overnight tonight and perhaps severe storms. Looks like a high likelihood of that. These are those out through Wisconsin. Gonna make a run down to the south and east, arrive here deep into the overnight. I'll tell you when, I'll tell you how strong, and we'll get to the weekend forecast up next.
This is a Fox 17 severe weather alert.
Anthony Dowell backtracking the severe weather, when it's going to hit, and it sounds like it could be a long night, Anthony.
Yeah, I think so, but good news for me, it might be a long night for Chief Meteorologist Kevin Craig as he rolls in here about 2, 3 o'clock, and that's about the time these storms are going to show up in our northwestern sections of the viewing area and sweeping to the southeast from there. So if I had to throw an hour out there in Grand Rapids, maybe 4 o'clock, 4:30, something on that order, that is like squarely in the middle of the overnight when the majority of people are sleeping, and these storms will come through, as I've said a few times this evening, with authority. That appears to be a good likelihood here, folks. Not much happening right now, nothing happening. Are you getting a sprinkle in northern Oceana, Newaygo, Mecosta counties? Perhaps. Some of that may be overdone in terms of what you're visualizing there. Sometimes when you get far enough from the radar, it kind of becomes a little distorted, but a little wave of light rain trying to move now down to the southeast. That's probably going to work to stabilize the atmosphere for extreme northern sections of the viewing area, but will not stabilize it. Grand Rapids to Kalamazoo, over to the Lakeshore and southward to the Indiana line. That appears to be a certainty. It is these storms just to the west of Green Bay and working over towards Minneapolis, or just to the east from there. It's those storms that have come together recently and will continue to work to the south and take on more of a southeasterly trajectory. By and large, missing Chicago I think, overnight tonight, but down to Milwaukee, and then they'll curl to the southeast with time coming into Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo. The first Grand Rapids, though, before Kalamazoo and Battle Creek, and this is going to be late in the overnight. That pink shaded color, which takes up a lot of real estate there in the state of Wisconsin. That is a severe thunderstorm watch officially from the Storm Prediction Center until 2 a.m. It is almost a certainty that those pink colors are going to show up in West Michigan. And I don't know when, but at some point here over the next few hours, a severe thunderstorm watch likely will be issued. And those orange shaded colors, those are the official severe thunderstorm warnings on the board as of now. The red polygons there, those tiny little red polygons, those are tornado warnings, I should say. So there is a possibility that there could be a brief spin up of a tornado within this line of severe thunderstorms as it does cross the region. Now, tornadoes not a huge concern here. Let me be clear. It is just the straight lined winds that will come plowing in from Wisconsin into West Michigan in the overnight, and this red outlined area. Not common to see a moderate outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, but that's what we have for this overnight. Pretty infrequent that you would get to that level of intensity, but anticipating that these storms will have a lot of gusto with them as they do cross Lake Michigan here around, say, 3:30, 4 o'clock, and then progressing down to the southeast with time in the overnight. So clearly, this wind category is the main thing to focus on. Now, heavy rainfall, yes, certainly some ponding on roadways briefly there, but it's going to end too quickly to have any significant flooding issues. Hail, not a huge concern, I don't believe. Tornadoes, not a huge concern. But again, there could be a tornado warning issued in this overnight within the band of severe thunderstorm warnings as they do work on through from northwest to southeast. I cannot rule that out in the hours to come. HRRR model. This is the high resolution rapid refresh. I've been going to this a lot this evening. And it's the best model to go to at this point because it initializes the conditions very well, draws down those severe thunderstorms. And again, from Grand Rapids, perhaps just to the north of Grand Rapids, just to the north of I-96 and southward to the Indiana line, that's where the highest likelihood is for the strongest of these storms to be coming in. And with wind gusts 60 to 70 miles per hour, it looks like that is a high likelihood with these particular storms. They will get out of here, though. I'm thinking some sun already in the mix by 9 a.m. That'll carry into the afternoon. We're going to have a lot of sunshine, in fact, for tomorrow. Thursday will shake out to be a really nice day. Temps in the lower half of the 80s. Still some humidity out there, but it goes away Friday and beyond. Looks like primarily we are getting rid of the humidity here for a several-day stretch. Temperatures right now, though, stuffy in the upper half of the 70s. The warmest air out to our west, but that's where it stays. It will not come in here as we do trend cooler in the days ahead. Dew points running in the lower 70s. That'll fuel these systems overnight tonight, these storms. But look at those temperatures on the graphic. I mean, they're down there. And I don't have any 80s, actually, here, Ryan and Janice, once we get beyond tomorrow. So though there is a brief little jump up there to 79 on Saturday, that'll be out ahead of a secondary cold front, reinforcing cooler surge later Saturday afternoon and evening. Could produce a shower or two. Nothing big. It's drier thereafter. Humidity's gone. Rainfall's gone. Temperatures pretty decent, mid to upper 70s.
All right. Thank you, Anthony. Hopefully a lot of people got their naps in today.
Could be a loud night, yeah.
The CDC is changing its mask recommendations thanks to the Delta